viewers, welcome back to our channel Unboxing Perspectives. I am Kanika and I am here today with a new video on our channel where we discuss books and we discuss movies and different art forms and how the stories can influence our lives, right? So this is another video in that series, and I hope if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, do click on the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you are notified with every new book that we are reading, with every new video that we are coming up and every new art form that we are exploring. So just clicking on the subscribe button really encourages us, because 97% of the people, those who are watching the videos, are those who have not yet subscribed to the channel. So I would request you to please subscribe to the channel so that we are encouraged to create more content for you, and we know exactly what group we are tendering to, so that we can give you the content that you like. We can give you something that you enjoy, right? So it will help us to plan the content in a better way. So I will request you to please click on the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you are notified, as well as we are encouraged to have more content for you and wonderful things to come out with. In today's video, what I am having, I thought was that I will discuss something about me. Like, people say that how do you read, why do you read, and how do you start this habit? We want to have this habit and all that. So I thought that I will bring up with a video where I will explain that how I developed my reading habit, what was my motivation, or how I thought that I will go into. So the story begins with the times when I was a kid, and I will give this entire credit to my family, of course, that my mom, as you know, that she's also uploading videos on this channel, reading the short stories and giving some inspiration stories. So there was the thing which made me read. So she bought some books. Like I started off with comic books of. तो मैंने स्टार्ट किया हमारी फेवरेट कॉमिक बुक से, जो कि इंडिया में बहुत फेमस है. जैसे हम मार्वल या डीसी की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, बट हम बात कर रहे हैं छोटी छोटी कॉमिक बुक्स की, जिसमें हम इंक्लूड करते हैं चाचा चौधरी, जिनका दिमाग कंप्यूटर से भी तेज चलता है, पिंकी है, रमन है, और इस तरह के छोटे छोटे कैरेक्टर्स जो कि हमारे हर स्टेशन पे, रेलवे स्टेशन पे, बस स्टॉप पे हमें बहुत अच्छे से मिल जाती है और इजीली एक्सेसिबल होती है. तो ये छोटी छोटी मैगजीन्स एंड छोटी छोटी कहानियां थी जिन्होंने मुझे एनकरेज किया फ्रॉम द टाइम बीइंग व्हेन आई वाज 2 years old, when I was not able to read, but I can look at the pictures and can get at the stories what they were saying around. जिसमें भले ही मुझे पढ़ना ना आता हो, पर मैं उन पिक्चर्स को देख के समझ जाती थी कि किस तरीके से वो स्टोरी बन रही है, और एक बार अगर कोई स्टोरी मुझे रीड करके सुना देता था तो आई कैन डेवलप दैट स्टोरी, राइट? So that was how I began from the comic books. Of course not the comic books like Marvel or DC, but yeah, छोटे छोटे कैरेक्टर्स, और उन्हीं के अराउंड हमारी स्टोरी बिल्डिंग स्टार्ट हुई. फिर उसके बाद जब हम स्कूल में गए, when I was in school, I got an access to the school library. In our school library, we had an access to wonderful books. Like it started from Enid Blyton. Enid Blyton would be my first love. जब हम कहेंगे कि books पढ़ने क्यों start की, it was because of Enid Blyton. And the series that they have small story booklets where we have a lot of stories, and like there are 10 to 14 stories, and we can issue one book from the library. Then there was another series, that is the Adventurous Island, and there were the famous 5, and these were the books that I started with. So these were the Enid Blyton books that were available in our school library, and that was really helpful in building a habit of reading. So there were small stories जिसमें हम देखते हैं कि students are going off for an adventure, और उसके अलावा हमारे पास में रहते हैं कुछ बहुत सारा खाना, बहुत अच्छा अच्छा खाना, और उसके अलावा कुछ सस्पेंस थ्रिल कि हमें हमेशा एक बैड गाय को फाइट करना है. सो उन सब के साथ में एक स्टोरी बिल्डिंग स्टार्ट होती है, और वो चीजें आपका इंटरेस्ट पकड़ के रखती हैं. दैट वाज व्हाट आई थॉट. एंड देन आफ्टर दैट आई मूव्ड ऑन टू फ्यू मोर कॉम्प्लिकेटेड बुक्स एंड हार्डी बॉयज एंड नैंसी ड्रू. तो ये दोनों बुक्स ऐसी है जो आपको अपने एज स्पेसिफिक लगती है, एंड यू रियली फील वेरी क्लोज टू देम, राइट? सो हार्डी बॉयज एंड नैंसी ड्रू वर always something which encouraged us, like if we go on a vacation and if we find something which is suspicious, we will surely go and search out for them. तो ये कहानियाँ कुछ ऐसी थी. तो हम उसके बाद भी इसके और मूव करें, और बहुत सारी हिंदी या हम कह सकते हैं इंडियन राइटर्स की भी ऐसी बुक्स हैं जो कि इस जॉनरा में लिखी जाती हैं, और उनको भी जो शॉर्ट स्टोरीज हैं, नॉट लाइक बिग नॉवेल्स, बट जो शॉर्ट स्टोरीज हैं वो हमने देखी. अगर हम बिग नॉवेल्स की बात करें तो आई लेड माई हैंड्स ऑन हैरी पॉटर, व्हिच वाज द फर्स्ट नॉवेल और द सीरीज दैट आई रेड. सो देयर वाज हैरी पॉटर, देन देयर वाज नार्निया, देन देयर वाज प्राइड एंड प्रेजुडिस. या आई रेड जेन ऑस्टन, जो कि बहुत मुश्किल होता है पढ़ना, बट या आई गॉट माई हैंड्स ऑन जेन ऑस्टन टू. तो वो चीज़ें हमें मुझे वहाँ स्कूल लाइब्रेरी से मिली. And I think Harry Potter is something, the experience that every child should have, every person should have when they are starting their reading journey or when they are into reading, because it will help you to build up your own world. So that was really wonderful thing for me. So Harry Potter is something which will help you have a wild imagination. Like you can imagine a world where there are magic tricks, where there are kids fighting the bad guy, where there is a wand which you can use as any of the weapons that you can. Then there is a fun, and there is school with a close group of friends, and they have such relationships, like there is friendship, there is jealousy, there is love stories, and there are a lot of segments. There are winning matches and quidditch and everything, and there is the protagonist fighting out a kid who is fighting out a bad guy. Yeah, it sounds like quite weird when you're grown up, but yeah, the obsession grows from that particular book, and I laid my hands on those series and I read it completely, and this was really wonderful for me to start my journey. तो हमने स्टार्ट किया छोटी छोटी किताबों से, और फिर जब हम और बड़े स्कूल में गए, या when I changed my school, I get an access to a large library, and there I got an access to books like Nicholas Spark, then Agatha Christie, and then there was Sidney Sheldon. तो इस तरह की बुक्स जो कि मेरा genre इंक्रीज कर रही थी, मेरा रीडिंग genre इंक्रीज कर रही थी. So from suspense thrillers I moved on to fantasy, and then I moved on to some love stories by Nicholas Spark, or Agatha Christie is again suspense thriller, then Sidney Sheldon is again suspense thriller. So मैं उसमें जा रही थी और मैं काफ़ी नए authors को access कर रही थी. I also read some Hindi books like मुंशी प्रेमचंद गोदान, and then there was मानसरोवर. तो इस तरीके से कुछ हिंदी राइटर्स भी हमारे पास में आए जो कि हमारी कोर्स बुक से अलग थी. And in addition to that, being an ICSE student, I always had some novels or the stories in the curriculum which we have to read. There was always a buzz around about writing things and about the language that we use, the language that we write in. So that was always a factor which contributed in my reading habits. So I think I will give the credit of developing a habit to the very foundation, that is from the school itself. So in case you are also looking up for building a habit of reading, start it early. But even if after that, after finishing my school, there was quite a reading slump. I went into further studies. I am a chartered accountant, so I went into chartered accountancy studies, and there was a slump of around 4 to 5 years where I couldn't get access to the books, and I was not able to read them because I didn't have time for it, or I could not get out time for it, in short. But yeah, always Harry Potter was my rescue, and I had the series with me. And even at the times when I was like quite not in a mood of getting into studies, I used those books, read out throughout the night, and then I got to the stories again, back to my paradise. So that was how I maintained it. But yeah, there was a reading slump, and I could not get into reading for these 4 to 5 years. Then after that, when I went out, I again had an access to Mumbai's fountain. So everyone is aware of that fountain, right? So there is a little bookshop near the fountain at nearby Churchgate station in Mumbai, and that fountain person is such a wonderful place for the book lovers, because you will get every book in ₹30 rent, and also you will give a basic deposit there, and you will get every book in ₹30 as a rent. You can take it, you can read it, you can return it, and then you can take on another book. So that was something which was really wonderful for me, because purchasing a book at that time was quite difficult, right? So that is something that we face, that we want to read but we do not have an access to it. Then I came to know that there are so many vendors in India and major cities that do practice such way that you give a rent of ₹30 and then you can borrow the books. So that was a factor which introduced me to a wide range of authors. So it introduced me to Jeffrey Archer, then it also introduced me to Paul Coyle, and these were the authors which I got to know after I got into it, that I got into the access to this large world of books. And there was a lot many books that I didn't like also, and there were writers that I just experimented with and I didn't like them much, so there was it again. And so I had a lot many experience there, and these were the books that made me have a list of books with me, so that I can review them, so that I can work on them and develop a thinking criteria. After that, also I was not into having something which made it a habit or which made me do on it. But later on, when I participated in the groups that are concentrated on books, when I came to know about the booktube channels and the way people discuss the characters and the stories, that is what made me think about these things. So when we are talking about developing a reading habit, I think when we read a book, it is for us. But when we discuss the book, we have an encouragement to write it, to talk about it and to discuss it, right? Like जब हम मूवी देखते हैं, हम उसे देखते हैं, खुश होते हैं, fine. But अगर हमें कोई मिल जाए जिन्होंने वो मूवी ऑलरेडी देखी हो, so how excited we get, right? We will go and discuss it. They look like इसमें ये हुआ था, इसमें ये कैरेक्टर है, इसमें इन्होंने ऐसे किया, उसमें उन्होंने वैसे किया. So it's same thing is with the books. And when you read books, when you have a circle to discuss them, and when you have a thing where you can review it and you can think about the characters, you can think about the people in it, वो आपको बहुत encourage करता है अपनी reading habit को develop करने के लिए. And then from where do I get the books now after coming back to my hometown? I have a few friends. I'm so lucky to have them from where we can exchange books. I can borrow books, and also I order some boxes which I have already made a video of in the unboxing video or the first book haul of my 2022, and that is something which keeps the supply of books with me. So the another thing that encouraged me to read them on time is that I have a group. So if you want to develop a reading habit, I can advise you that please join the people who are into reading, who discuss the books. Think about the characters, think about the story, and draw your own conclusions. Then you can discuss it with people, and I think that will make it an interesting habit for you. And you can develop a habit of reading. And again, if you have thought of some books कि हमें ये बुक पढ़नी है, हमें ये रीडिंग का हैबिट डेवलप करना है, तो उसके लिए हमारे पास एक वीडियो ऑलरेडी है चैनल पे जिसमें हमने आपको बताया है कि किस तरह के टिप्स आप यूज कर सकते हैं ताकि आपको उसकी हैबिट पड़े, राइट? सो इवन इफ यू आर नॉट येट स्टार्टेड रीडिंग, यू कैन ऑलवेज स्टार्ट दैट रीडिंग. एंड इफ यू आर ऑलरेडी इनटू रीडिंग और आप हमेशा से इसे पढ़ रहे हैं, तो आई थिंक यू कैन रिलेट इट टू मी. एंड प्लीज टेल मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन बिलो व्हाट वाज द थिंग दैट मेड यू अ रीडर. आपने अपनी रीडिंग हैबिट्स कैसे स्टार्ट करी और आप किस तरीके से उसे अपना पैशन बना रहे हैं या आप उसे पढ़ते हैं. लाइक इट्स नॉट एसेंशियल कि हम वीक में एक बुक खत्म करें, हम मंथ में भी एक बुक खत्म कर सकते हैं. वी हैव द प्रायोरिटीज, वी हैव आवर ओन शेड्यूल्स, तो हम मंथ में भी एक बुक खत्म कर सकते हैं. बट व्हाट इज योर वे ऑफ डूइंग इट, हाउ डू यू डू इट, एंड व्हाट इज योर पैटर्न ऑफ डूइंग इट. तो वो चीजें आप मुझे बताएं कमेंट सेक्शन में. आई वुड लव टू नो whether you are also a person who relate to me, you are also a person who started it from the library of the school, or you are a person जो कि उनको एक्चुअली में बुक का एक्सेस मिला था, उन्होंने पढ़ना शुरू किया. So I would love to know about all these things, and in case you have any other questions, you have any other queries for me, please mention them in the comment section. I would love to reply to you all regarding me or my reading habits or any other random question in case you have. So I will love to reply them, and in case you want any specific book to be reviewed, as I always say, please give your feedback because that helps me to create more content for you, and it will also help me to understand what you are liking. So I will see you in the next video with some more content, with some more talks about the books, and till then, happy reading.